Welcome, I'm Todd Raffel with ERE Media. ERE.net is our domain name in case you find this video embedded somewhere, as is often the case. ERE.net is our domain name, and I'm here with Lisa Feliciano. She's the Vice President of Human Resources at Independence Care System. It's in New York, in Manhattan, and Independence Care has been doing great work hiring people with disabilities and keeping people with disabilities. A group that we all know, sadly, are highly underrepresented in the workforce with very high unemployment rates. So Lisa, thanks for being here, and can you tell us just maybe a little tiny bit about what kinds of jobs you employ people for, people with disabilities in particular?
Hi, Tad. Thank you for having me. Independence Care System hires persons with physical disabilities at all levels of positions in the organization, from receptionists to senior vice presidents.
Perfect. And why has this worked? Are you doing anything different from other companies? Are you doing anything that was a departure from what you used to do? Or why do you think it's worked to that you have been successful doing this?
Well, it's working because we think outside of the box when it comes to positions. We will do things like modify a position in order to have it filled by someone with a physical disability. And we see major successes in the organization because it adds to the work that we do. We are an organization that serves persons with physical disabilities. The persons that we employ bring with them a high sense of understanding of disability competency. And so overall that adds value to the work that we do.
So what happens? You said you modify. So what happens? Someone sends in an application or a resume, and what happens? You look at it and you go, we're going to change the job around a little bit because this person would be good, but they don't meet all the criteria. Is that kind of what you mean?
Well, if the person meets the majority of the criteria and they have a lot of good experience and they're a fit for the organization, which is extremely important for us here, and they are not able to do, say, one or two of the essential functions in a role, then we will look at those two essential functions and figure out if we can't have someone else in that department or someone else in another area carry out those functions.
Interesting.
Also, if the position is based in one location and a person with a physical disability is a great candidate, but for some reason is not able to get to that location easily every day, we may make it possible for that person to fulfill their responsibilities out of another office.
When companies do this, do you think that companies should be modifying, your company or every company should be modifying the job description or job ad, job posting sooner? So in other words, are people screening themselves out who may not realize that companies like yours might be able to modify the job? Are people screening themselves out because they see something in the job description and they say, I can't do this? And if so, should job descriptions, job postings, job ads be changed accordingly?
Well, I'm sure you know, most postings for positions include an equal opportunity employer section, and typically that will say that it does not discriminate against a variety of different protected characteristics, including persons with physical disabilities. So I do think that what is likely happening is that candidates with physical disabilities are likely screening themselves out because of prior experiences in terms of applying for positions or stories that they hear from other people, which is why I think it's really important that the work that we do gets out there, and so that people with physical disabilities do see that there are companies that really value the expertise that they bring to the work environment, and that it is possible to get positions at pretty much at every level and within an organization.
Are there accommodations that you typically make, that are maybe the most common ones or the ones that are most useful, or the ones that you find yourself often making that help people work?
The most common accommodation is desks that have the ability to to be moved up and down so that a wheelchair user can easily be accommodated in that space. And that's probably one of the most typical. What we try to do as we build new offices and new work areas is acquire a lot of those desks, because from our perspective, at any given time, we may hire someone with a physical disability. So we just want to make sure that from the outset we have a lot of those desks available.
And this is like the version of like a sitting, standing desk where people buy so they can sometimes sit, sometimes stand, that kind of desk? Or is, no?
No, it's really because we don't know we don't know exactly how a wheelchair is going to fit, because it really depends on who's in the wheelchair and what that setup is. So what it allows is just for the desk to be moved up and down. And I believe that it goes all the way up so that another person who's not a wheelchair user would be able to use it standing up.
Yeah. And computer software, you often do that as well, or no?
Yes, there are people who work here who have physical disabilities that don't have the ability to type. And in order for them to use a computer, they need to speak into a software. So we have installed a software called Dragon into the work areas of those staff members.
That's like a couple $100 type thing.
Yes, it ranges from $150 to $300.
Gotcha. Lisa, thank you. It's been interesting and hopefully useful to people who are considering trying to up the number of people with disabilities who apply for their jobs. Lisa Feliciano from Independence Care System in New York. Great work.
Thank you, Todd.